All right, this is how Earl went about this. Earl wanted to use some antique Eastlake door hardware. And this stuff's not like a regular doorknob. You have a deep mortise that you have to do right in here. And it's kind of tricky. I'm going to be using some retro stuff too in the house. And so what I've done is I've made up a couple quick templates to do a few things. My first template would be the router to start an initial plunge of about a 1/2 inch in depth right here. That would be for the mortise lock so that it can drop in. I still have to clean it out a little bit with a chisel. This is just a rough right now. I just got done doing my little drill press thing, but I started with the router on this, went and plunged on my start and stop, which is a little bit beyond the box for the sake of ease, but not too far so that you can't put the screws in. And then what I did was I took this little rig I made up and I began with a Forstner bit plunging down 3 1/8 inches all the way across this pocket that I just routed out from point A to point B. And what I have to do next is take my chisel and clean the pocket out. There's still a lot of debris down in there. Clean the pocket out a little bit more so everything can drop down in there. And then what I'll do is I'll drop that lockset in there. Whoop, yeah, that's it. And then scribe right here with the razor. And then I'll work the recess with a chisel carefully. I've got a secondary block that I've drilled a hole in so that I draw my depth to keyhole and knob rod there so that they're at the same heights. And then I actually measure, once I get that down, I'll find center where I'll hold my box, my rim up here, and I'll mark center of this and then reference here to here and mark it here and here. I use a 1/2 inch for this particular one. It should work with all because I just did a 1880 Eastlake lock set with the same stuff and they match up too. They must copy the old school measurements because they match up like a glove. But I used a 1/2 inch mortise here and then I did a series of 3 or 4 holes along this line to map out where the skeleton key is going to go in there. And then it's just a matter of this little thing that I drew the line with is also a secondary tool because what I do is I lay my escutcheon or plate once this is in place. Once this is in place, and I clamp this to the door, I line this up so that the hole matches really well. This will be clamped so that it can't slip behind it. And I slide this until it matches the hole really well. Then I'll screw it. And then I'll go through the other side, having been drilled with the mortise bits too. I'll take the rod that comes with it, that square rod. What did I do with it? I don't know what I did with it. The square rod that your knob clamps onto, I don't know where I set it. I will push that through the other side, put the knobs on it, and adjust the plate with this bracket on the other side too, but I will adjust it this way so that they sit both knobs perpendicular, because if you don't, one will go one high, one low. Even a 1/16 of an inch will make a difference, so you want to make sure you have that rod in place and both the knobs on before you screw this one down. Hit a pilot hole, everything. So anyway, that's how you do it. And I still have a lot of mortise work to do, but that will give you a doorknob. And this one's a little tight right now. I have to I didn't quite get dead nut with this, but this knob scrubs when it goes into this pot. I'm gonna take my Dremel and just kind of like grind just a little bit of this backer plate, just slightly, so this thing will let go. It's just it's just a little bit, but it's keeping it from springing back out. And then I've got to, of course, mortise this over here with strike plate. But that's the easy part. The hard part's done. That one was no more different than that new reproduction. Same thing, same setup, same numbers, everything's the same. The mortise was a little bit, on the antique hardware, was slightly wider here. And it only, this one's a lot more forgiving. You've got a lot more, this reproduction stuff, you have a lot more lip right here. The East Lake stuff, I had, I would say at least a 1/16 less to work with. So you can't make your slot too wide because with your mortise, because then you won't have anything for that to lay on. Anyway, that's how Earl did it. And of course, I fab up little door holder while you mess with all this stuff. But it's pretty easy to fab up these little things, and then it is what it is. Or even doing it with modern hardware. Set my elevation. Set my elevation for the doorknob, and then just drill 2 holes for the 2 screws. Only problem is these are dummy knobs. You can't take the knob off, and I can't get to the screw. I got to grind a bit down and make a custom bit so that I can ratchet that screw in. I can't do it without going at an angle. It'll gall up the Phillips head, which I don't want to do. Anyway, that's me. I've got this door to do, and then I am done. Actually, I got one more. Got one over there in the corner I got to do to take upstairs, and I'll probably do that sometime this week. This will be my last one today, but it's pretty easy. It's a lot more involved though than just coring a hole or buying a pre-mortise door with everything cut out. But it's overall, it's not that bad, really.